you said purchase a domain name via Google Workspace.
Yes. So if you set up the entity and now you have the EIN, you have your business entity set up. This is an important step for creating the right foundation for your business so that you're able to go ahead and get business credit. You want to use a professional email because a lot of lenders, if they see that you're using a personal email or even a personal phone number, they will not approve you for business trade lines. So that's why, I don't know if you watched the video, if you were able to slow it down, if it wasn't too fast, it says this is a very important step. You really want to make sure you have a professional email. And I'll just give you an example of why that was so important. So when I first started building business credit, my business wasn't making any revenue. I applied. Once I got a few of the first trade lines in a month or two, I was able to get the Divvy MasterCard, which I speak about. Actually, I was able to get that immediately without having any revenue. I did these steps for my uncle who has had a business for 2 years. He's had over $300,000 in revenue, but he had a personal email. When we applied for the Divvy MasterCard, they did not approve him, and they allow him to have a secure account, which is where he would make a deposit. They'll hold the deposit for about 6 months, and then they'll give it back to him after 6 months. But with me, I didn't have to do any of that. And that was the main reason that happened, because he had a personal phone number and a personal email. And then the business, when lenders look at your business as a little more risky when you don't have like all of your ducks in a row. So you definitely want to make sure you have a business domain. I use Google domain. I've heard of like GoDaddy.com, but for all of mine, I've used Google domain because I like to utilize the Google Workspace with the Google email. It just makes everything a little more simple for me. One platform.
So let's keep going on why you're using this Google domain. So we went to Google domain.
Mm-hmm.
They have 300 different domain endings for you. .com is still the preferred one, but if you don't see a .com, you pick the one that will allow you to have your brand name across the internet. What do I mean by that? So that means that I have markylemons.com, a bunch of pages over at markylemons.com. I also have my email, info@markylemons.com. But then if you go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of them are going to say Marky Lemons, because you want to think about your branding too. Okay, don't just go do it and pick anything. Be very strategic in how you're setting this up, not only for the purposes of being an established business and for the purposes of getting credit, but also for the purpose of branding. You want to look like a Fortune 500 company. And when we start going through these different, completing these steps, you're really not spending any money in order to do this. There's a few dollars involved, okay? But remember, they're write-offs, okay? So we go over to Google Domains, and remember, I'm going to share all of the links with you. But then after we go and you get this domain name, Vincent, you said create a business email account using a purchase domain from Google Workspace.
Yes. So technically, you don't have to purchase the domain on Google Workspace.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do it because it's just one platform. I just did everything on Google Workspace. You could buy the domain and then convert it over to Google Workspace. That works as well for anybody who may already have a domain.
So here's what you mean by create a business email account. So I have markylemons.com. I also have markylemons@gmail.com. All right. Now, I didn't take the steps to do the Workspace because I've had it so long, right? I don't even think Workspace was out at that time. So I masked my email address. So my markylemons.com is always coming over to my Gmail, and I communicate back. So you get an email back from me. It says info@markylemons.com. There are numerous businesses that when you're getting credit and things of that nature will ask you for a business email address. That means they're not accepting a Gmail, Yahoo, or a Hotmail. When that comes about, I always put in info@markylemons.com. So what Vince is telling you is once you purchase your domain name, you can come over here to Workspace and you can set up a professional email address for your business.